You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 6 with your award-winning news team, Lynn Brooks, Philip Coleman, weather with Richard Scott, and sports with Gary Harris.
Tonight on WVUA News at 6, Alabama's Crimson Tide gets ready to head to New Orleans for the BCS National Championship game. We have complete coverage. Plus, hot off the presses, Bama's National Championship-bound team gear rolls into T-Town. Find out where. And downtown Tuscaloosa gets ready for a big Christmas celebration. We have a preview of the West Alabama Christmas Parade. But first, Bama's Crimson Tide is heading to New Orleans for the 2012 BCS National Championship game. We're glad you're with us. Lynn Brooks has the evening off. The Tide is going for their 14th national championship. WVUA Sports Director Gary Harris joins us now with the latest. Gary.
Thank you, Philip. Alabama is going to face LSU in the BCS Championship game on January 9th at the Superdome down in the Big Easy. The Tide finished number 2 in the final BCS rankings released on Sunday evening, just ahead of Oklahoma State. For the Crimson Tide, the game will offer a shot at a little revenge after the Tide lost 9-6 in overtime to top-ranked LSU back on November 5th in Tuscaloosa. Alabama outgained LSU in the game, had more scoring opportunities than did the Tigers, but mistakes and missed field goals haunted the Crimson Tide, and because of that loss, Alabama playing in the BCS game has brought out numerous critics. As you can guess, most of them are from outside the Southeast. However, there still seems to be a consensus that the two best teams in the country will be playing in the game, and Alabama will get another opportunity to prove it's the best. Nick Saban says he's looking forward to the challenge of facing LSU for the second time.
Well, they obviously are undefeated, and they have the best team, I think, in the country. And I think if you're a great competitor, you know, you like great challenges, and this is certainly going to be a great challenge for us. And our football team has responded well to, you know, challenges all year long. So I'm excited that they've created an opportunity for themselves that will be one of the biggest moments probably of their football career.
We'll have more from Coach Saban as the Tide tries to win a 14th national championship. That's coming up a little bit later on in Home Team Sports. Philip.
All right, thanks, Gary. And since the BCS announcement, Alabama fans who haven't already purchased national championship tickets are scurrying to do so. But how many are still available? WVUA's Matt McCoy joins us in studio with more. Matt.
Thanks, Philip. T-Town Ticket says callers are flooding with the office with questions like how much the tickets will cost and will it be hard to find one. Candace Carden says it's hard for them to know just how many tickets are out there since the university hasn't sent out their tickets yet. Carden says it's going to be harder to score a ticket this year than it was in the 2009 National Championship due to a smaller venue. And as for hotels, WVUA spoke with the New Orleans Convention and Visitors Bureau, and they say they're predicting a sellout.
We don't have the exact occupancy calculated at this time. As you can imagine, it's constantly fluctuating. But what we do know is that tickets for the BCS game are sold out. So that equals 74,000 individuals who will be in the city to enjoy the game. The greater metro area has about 38,000 hotel rooms available. So as you can imagine, we are expecting a complete city sellout.
Officials with the New Orleans Convention and Visitors Bureau tell us there will be parties and other events surrounding the championship game. For a shortcut to their website, go to WVUA-TV.com, click on numbers and links. Philip?
All right, thanks, Matt. It's still over a month away until kickoff, but there is something that is never too early to get ready for, and that's financially planning for your trip to New Orleans. WVUA's Travis Leader crunches the numbers.
How much are you willing to pay for national championship tickets? Tickets on major online ticket vendors are going for $1,300, and travel agents are saying the demand is at an all-time high.
There's not a hotel room to be had in New Orleans unless you buy it through some type of package. And as the demand goes up for these packages and the availability of game tickets and hotel rooms decrease, the price is inevitably going to go up.
What about travel costs? Amtrak, $131 round trip. Greyhound, $164 round trip. And with many hotels fully booked already, Travel agents say it's best to buy your tickets with travel and lodging included.
We know how Alabama fans like to travel for their team, so we've been very prepared for this. The space is getting less available every minute that goes by, but our phones today are ringing off the hook.
If a hotel's out of your price range, maybe you'd like to drive in one of these bad boys.
Being able to pull out your tents and grills and cook out with your family, I don't think it's very costly at all to go compared to what you pay for in the hotels, and for the rates that they're going to charge, this would be much more convenient.
Graham Povenick says 3-day motorhome rentals go for as low as $715. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Travis Leader, WVUA News.
And travel agents are offering ticket packages ranging from $2,700 to $5,000. The price difference depends on how good of a seat you want when you enter the Superdome. On your crime watch, a Tuscaloosa City Councilman arrested in connection with drugs. Tomorrow will be the first council meeting that Kip Tyner will attend since his arrest. As we have reported, this happened Friday night at the Treetop Apartments in Tuscaloosa. Police say Tyner was charged with unlawful possession of a controlled substance and unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. Tyner's attorney, David Andrus, released a statement that says, in part, Kip will be pleading not guilty in this case, and we will be looking into the circumstances surrounding his arrest. It's almost time to strike up the band. Downtown Tuscaloosa is about to be filled with the sights and sounds of Christmas. And here's a live look now where all the action will be taking place at 6:30. The 35th annual West Alabama Christmas Parade will pour through the streets. This year's theme is A Christmas of Hope to commemorate Tuscaloosa's recovery from the April tornadoes. According to Tuscaloosa Parks and Recreation, the parade will not be televised this year, but we will have coverage tonight on WVUA News at 10. Now, still ahead here on WVUA News at 6, Christmas comes early at the Capstone. We'll take you to the Hilaritas Christmas concert next.
And coming up in home team weather, watch some light rain on home team interactive radar right now. Starting to move into the Tuscaloosa area, so if you are heading out to the parade, take the rain gear. How about the rest of the forecast, though? We'll look at next weekend's forecast. Home team weather is coming up.
And the Alabama men's basketball coach says the team can expect to see a lot of zone defense until they improve their outside shooting. Gary Harris will have that story coming up in Alabama's home team sports. As Christmas draws near, Christmas music is spreading throughout the community. Hundreds of people attended the University of Alabama School of Music's annual Hilaritas concert this past weekend. Bradley Whittington takes us there and shows us the history behind this event in this week's Capstone Correspondent Report.
Hi, I'm Capstone Correspondent Bradley Whittington, a junior majoring in broadcast news. University of Alabama singers and the Alabama Jazz Ensemble held their annual Christmas extravaganza known as Hilaritas. Performers dressed up and decorated their area of the stage to create a festive atmosphere. They performed 2 sold-out concerts last Friday and Sunday. Professor of music John Ratledge says the word Hilaritas came from Fred Prentice, who started the tradition 42 years ago while on vacation in Virginia.
And they went into this reconstructed home, or maybe it was original, I'm not sure. And on the hearth of the fireplace, it simply said Hilaritas. And so Fred Prentice thought it was a great, great word. It sounded good.
Ratledge says although some said the word Hilaritas translates loosely into live joyful and be proud of what you are, he says that's not true, and the word has no meaning. It's simply made up. If you'd like to see the University of Alabama through the eyes of a student, go to WVUA-TV.com. I'm Capstone Correspondent Bradley Whittington for WVUA News.
Makes it real easy to get into the spirit. Now, here's a live look at the city of Tuscaloosa from the WVUA Tower Cam. A busy night on tap in Tuscaloosa with the Christmas parade about to start up shortly. But could rain be heading your way? Alabama's home team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott is coming up next.
Alabama's home team weather.
Hey, welcome back. Good Monday evening to you. We'll start things off on Home Team Interactive Radar. I know a lot of folks are going to be outdoors in Tuscaloosa, the West Alabama Christmas Parade happening in about 15 minutes. Good news is no heavy rain out there, but you notice on radar a lot of green showing up. There's a lot of light drizzle or light rain and sprinkles out there. In fact, western Tuscaloosa County back to the west, this is what we're watching to move into the city over the next few hours. And some of this is moderate rain back across state line over northern Sumter County that is moving in the general direction of Tuscaloosa and Birmingham over the next few hours. Look for the rain to intensify a bit after about 7 or 7:30 tonight for the city of Tuscaloosa. The rest of it just some light rain on and off tonight. So if you do have plans outdoors anywhere across our state tonight, take the rain gear with you because you're going to need it out there. There is some mist happening and also a little breezy out there in spots as well. But the back edge of the rain is all towards the west, but it's not going to really make it to us tonight. In fact, the rain's going to kind of slow down as it moves off towards the east. The cold front slowly working in from the northwest. That's going to drop temperatures back tonight, but the rain's going to linger around even behind the front. 60 degrees by 10 o'clock on average. Still mild this evening. In fact, 68 by 7 o'clock. Again, light rain showers are likely. And midnight tonight starts getting kind of chilly, 56 degrees on average at midnight. There's a front now across our northwest counties. Back to the west, a lot of cloud cover and even some heavy snow happening across western Texas and the Texas Panhandle. What's going to happen is this upper air feature back to the west is going to move our way. That's going to generate a surface low to develop. That'll spread plenty of moisture back to our state behind the front. So look for a cold rain to develop by the time we go into Wednesday and Wednesday afternoon. Good news is no chance of any snow out there, but it will be a cold rain. Maybe some flakes over the Tennessee Valley around Huntsville, around here, just a cold rain. 39 degrees back in Little Rock, 39 in Dallas, and check out Denver, 1 degree right now. Really cold stuff out west, and it will modify a bit as it moves southeast, so we're not looking for an Arctic outbreak in the forecast, but it will get kind of chilly by the time we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, and even on Thursday. By the way, Wednesday will likely stay in the 40s all day with the cold rain across the state as temperatures do continue to cool off. In fact, on Futurecast, some of the heavier rain waits until Wednesday morning and Wednesday afternoon. Later in the day, the rain should move out. We'll have increasing sun, I think, during the day on Thursday, maybe a passing shower. Otherwise, we stay dry. Lows tonight at 50 degrees, cloudy skies. Showers are likely tonight. And tomorrow around 57 for high temperature. In fact, will likely fall after lunch back in the 40s at sunset. North breeze at about 3 to 6. Forecast going to be cold and rainy on Wednesday. Soaking rain is likely. 49 for high temperature. Lows back in the 30s by Thursday morning. Decreasing cloud cover on Thursday. Maybe a passing shower during the daytime on Thursday. I think many of us on that day stay dry. Temperatures top out around 50 to 55 as we go into Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Plenty of sun.
All right, we'll welcome that back. Thank you, Richard. Now, Christmas lights are popping up all around West Alabama, and now is your time to shine. These lights come from Edwardian Drive in Northport. Now, if you or someone you know has beautiful holiday lights, let us know the address, and you might just see those lights featured on WVUA News. Visit our website, WVUA-TV.com, and click on the Submit Your Outdoor Holiday Decorations buttons. We'll be showing those beautiful decorations all the way through the end of December. Now, coming up, the Alabama women's basketball team came up big Sunday against undefeated Kansas. Gary Harris will have those details coming up in Alabama's home team sports. And later on, it didn't take long for those Bama championship shirts to find their way into T-Town. We'll have a sneak peek coming up. Stay with us.
Now, the Tuscaloosa Chevrolet Sports Update with WVUA's Gary Harris.
Welcome back, everybody. Second-ranked Alabama will get a rematch against top-ranked LSU for all the marbles in a 1-versus-2 matchup back on November 5th. LSU bested Alabama 9-6 in overtime at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Now, some around the country are not pleased that there will be a rematch for the national championship in New Orleans, but Nick Saban said on Sunday night, bottom line is the BCS got it right.
Well, I'm really excited to have the opportunity. I'm really excited for our players, our coaching staff, all the people who work so hard to sort of play at the standard that we were able to play at the entire year. This is a great opportunity for our team, and we really look forward to the challenge of playing LSU, who's an outstanding team, undefeated. And I really feel like the best two teams are playing in the game, and we're really excited to have the opportunity.
Alabama running back Trent Richardson is a unanimous choice for the Offensive Player of the Year, while LSU quarterback Tyrann Mathieu has been named the top Defensive Player of the Year on the Associated Press All-Southeastern Conference team. Les Miles is Coach of the Year. Richardson has rushed for 1,583 yards in 12 games and scored 20 touchdowns on the ground. He's also caught 27 passes and added 3 touchdowns through the air. He's averaging 6 yards per carry and is a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. Others named the AP All-SEC first team from Alabama include Barrett Jones, who was also a unanimous selection at offensive tackle, center William Vallejos, linebacker Courtney Upshaw, and senior safety Mark Barron. 3 more Crimson Tiders made the second team All-SEC squad for the AP, all from the defense. Josh Chapman at nose tackle, Dante Hightower at linebacker, and Drake Kirkpatrick at cornerback. On the coaching front, the UAB Blazers have turned to Arkansas offensive coordinator and former University of Oklahoma quarterback Garrett McGee to infuse the program with some energy and enthusiasm. McGee becomes the first black head coach at a FCS program in Alabama and said today he believes everything is in place for the Blazers to win a Conference USA championship. Now, recently, the University of Alabama System Board of Trustees rejected the proposal for a new on-campus stadium for UAB. McGee says that when he puts a championship team on the field, he'll go back and ask for more. And Ole Miss has hired Hugh Freeze as the program's new football coach. The 42-year-old Freeze led Arkansas State to the 2011 Sun Belt Conference Championship and 10-2 record in his first season as a coach at the Football Bowl subdivision level. It was the Red Wolves' first 10-win season since joining the FBS. Freeze is from Senatobia, Mississippi, and served as an assistant under then Ole Miss coach Ed Orgeron from 2005 to 2007. He takes over for Houston Nutt, who was fired after 4 seasons at Ole Miss. Well, Saints running back Mark Ingram saw the majority of the workload for the team in Week 13 on the ground against the Lions. He gained 54 yards on 16 carries with a touchdown in the 31-17 win. His 5th score of the year came in the second quarter when he was able to punch it in from 14 yards out. Ingram, who averaged 3.4 yards per carry in the game, led New Orleans in rushing in the 31-17 victory. The Georgetown zone defense shut down the Alabama offense inside and particularly from the perimeter last Thursday night, limiting the Tide to 3 of 16 from three-point range. Now, with that blueprint in place, Anthony Grant says the Tide can expect to see more of the same in terms of zone defense beginning on Wednesday night at Dayton.
Looking back at that game, we struggled versus Georgetown zone in terms of how we attacked it. So just working on, just attacking zones better. We had some breakdowns on the defensive end in the second half that hurt us. So trying to learn from those and understand, what we've got to do to put ourselves in a better position to win those type of games.
It's just some young guys, even some of the veterans, just didn't see like a zone like that. It was just more like a 2-3 and not like how we run it. And we just got better, getting better at it now.
Yeah, I believe so. Talking to Coach Grant, they feel like a lot of teams are going to try to play zone against us. So, we've been working on zone a lot at practice.
Big opportunity for the Bama women on Sunday at Foster Auditorium against undefeated Kansas. Things look good early. Jasmine Robinson feeds Jessica Merritt, who scores the reverse layup. Bama led 22-16. Merritt had 12 points and 3 rebounds. Then watch Anisha Daniels muscle Carolyn Davis down low to get the basket underneath, increasing the lead to 8. Daniels had 9 points and 13 rebounds. The game, though, belonged to Jasmine Robinson, who shakes Natalie Knight with the wicked crossover and then drains the jumper, giving Bama a 10-point lead at the half. She had a career-high 25 points, added 5 rebounds as the Tide wins 80-76, handing Kansas their first loss of the season. Alabama improves to 7-2. And one quick correction, I said Garrett McGee is the first black coach at an FCS school in Alabama. That's an FBS school, Football Bowl Subdivision, Division 1A. Garrett McGee at UAB. That's a look at sports. We'll be back right after this.
This has been the Tuscaloosa Chevrolet Sports Update on WVUA. Roll, Chevy, roll.
It's only been about 24 hours since the Crimson Tide learned they are set for a bid for a 14th national championship. But the Tide Pride gear is already in T-Town. We caught up with the folks at Bama Express along the Strip today. David Jones told us they had national championship bound shirts on hand last Friday, just in case the Tide got the BCS Championship Bowl game. Now, these first shirts are crimson and have a houndstooth hat on them and say, "Get your party hats on and Bourbon Street bound." And Jones says there are other designs on the way. So it's always good to hear that, see that Crimson Tide gear, but for the next several hours, we might need some rain gear.
Yeah, we've got some light rain in the area right now. They're just going to move through the area tonight. On and off light rain that carries through the day on Tuesday. Heavier rain moves in on Wednesday. A cold rain out there, maybe some snow flurries across the Tennessee Valley. Just a good old-fashioned rain around here, though, and we'll have increasing sunshine late on Thursday.
All right, that's going to do it for the news at 6, 1 News at 10. Right now, keep it tuned right here. In the meantime, thanks for joining us. Have a good evening.
We're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. John Huddleston has the night off. Even though it was cold and rainy outside, it didn't stop people from catching a glimpse of the annual West Alabama Christmas Parade. Tons of residents came out to see all the excitement that the parade had to offer earlier tonight. There were baton twirlers, fire trucks, and even marching bands. And with all the Christmas buzz, it made some kids so excited they could hardly stand it.
I'm excited we get to see Santa Claus at the end of the parade. And we're very excited to just be here and just to see the parade and see all the wonderful pretty lights and everything. Yeah.
For some Tuscaloosa residents, the Christmas parade may be a tradition, but this year's Christmas parade was an even bigger meaning behind it. WVUA's Jennifer Edwards has more.
It's a tradition that comes along with the annual West Alabama Christmas Parade, the Grand Marshal reception. According to Becky Booker with the Tuscaloosa County Parks and Recreation Authority, the reception is generally meant to honor those selected to be the Grand Marshal. But Booker says this year, PAIR went a different direction when it came to the person or object to represent Tuscaloosa after the April 27th tornado.
We have a committee that chooses the Grand Marshal, and there were several really outstanding nominations this year. But because of everybody that helped in the tornado, it was hard to choose one or two people that maybe stood out among everybody that helped. There are so many people that helped in so many different ways that we felt like the flag would represent the entire community, that, you know, everybody knew somebody that was affected or if they weren't themselves. So everybody helped, and we felt like that was a good way to honor everyone.
The Tuscaloosa Christmas Parade is a time for family to get together and celebrate Christmas. Whether you were directly affected by the tornado or not, residents seem to agree on the marshal.
I am a storm victim, and it's just special that they are dedicating that to us to show that they are concerned about the students and everyone that went through it.
The tornado victims went through a lot, and they need something. You know, most of the kids are not going to have homes for Christmas. They're not going to get gifts. So, you know, they're either in hotel rooms or in shelters. They need something.
No matter if you were directly impacted by April's storms, almost everyone out celebrating the magic of Christmas said it was nice, getting the feeling of being home for the holidays. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Jennifer Edwards, WVUA News.
According to Becky Booker with PARA, this year was the first year the Grand Marshal was an object. Well, it sure was a wet night out there for the parade. With the first look at Alabama's home team forecast, here's Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. Hey, Richard.
Good Monday night to you. Many of us called a break in the rainfall activity in Tuscaloosa County, at least during the parade happening here in town, but more rain starting to move into this hour. Very light stuff, light showers happening, maybe an embedded thunderstorm moving into Lamar County ahead of the cold front. In fact, the cold front is about to move through our area, and it's going to bring a sharp change to colder weather, and you're really going to notice that tomorrow. In fact, our forecast tomorrow for our Tuesday, temperatures go the wrong way. 57 at 9 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures likely fall to the lower 50s by tomorrow afternoon. Showers are likely even behind the front. What about the rest of the forecast, though, and your weekend forecast? Even cooler temperatures are in the forecast. Home team weather is coming up. Stay with us.
Thanks, Richard. Well, while the city of Tuscaloosa finished up their Christmas celebrations, the finishing touches on Northport's festivities were just getting put into place. All in preparations for this year's Dickens Downtown Festival. The city of Northport closes the intersection of 5th Street and Main Avenue for the holiday festival. that takes you back to the Victorian era. Festivities include giveaways, music performances, craft making, and even carolers. Tomorrow night is an event some locals say they wait for all year round, and that the festival gives them into the holiday spirit.
And especially to the community, I think it's become a very important part of a lot of people's holiday. I think this is kind of the first event of their holiday season. It's a very family-oriented night. It's a great place to bring your children, have a date night, but it's just a really festive way to kick off the holidays.
The Dickens Downtown Festival kicks off tomorrow night at 5 o'clock in the streets, shops, and galleries of historic downtown Northport. The downtown area will be closed to vehicle traffic after 4:30. For access to all usable parking lots, use Park Street, 10th Street, and Bridge Avenue. Look for recaps of the holiday festivities tomorrow night right here on WVUA. Well, it's official. The Alabama Crimson Tide is heading back to the BCS National Championship. They'll face off in a rematch against the LSU Tigers. WVUA Sports Director Gary Harris joins us live with more on the Crimson Tide making their way to the championship. Gary?
That's right, Matt. Alabama will get another crack at LSU in the BCS Championship game on January 9th at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in the Big Easy. Now, the Tide finished number 2 in the final BCS rankings released on Sunday night, just ahead of Oklahoma State. So Alabama will get a shot at payback. Remember, LSU beat the Tide 9-6 in overtime at Bryant-Denny Stadium back on November 5th. Because of that loss, there are some that are saying Alabama has no business getting a rematch against LSU. Of course, most of those critics come from outside the Southeast. Still, though, even the critics, most admit they do think that LSU and Alabama are the two best teams in the country. That's why I can't figure out why they are against the rematch. Nevertheless, some are. But Nick Saban says he feels confident that the BCS got it right, and he's looking forward to facing LSU a second time.
Well, they obviously are undefeated, and they have the best team, I think, in the country. And I think if you're a great competitor, you know, you like great challenges, and this is certainly going to be a great challenge for us. And our football team has responded well to, you know, challenges all year long. So I'm excited that they've created an opportunity for themselves that will be one of the biggest moments probably of their football career.
And coming up later in home team sports, we'll have more from Nick Saban and Les Miles as they talk about old school football. These two teams winning with great defenses. That's coming up a little bit later on. Matt?
Thanks, Gary. Since the BCS announcement, Alabama fans who haven't already purchased national championship tickets are scurrying to do so. But how many are still available? T-Town Ticket says callers are flooding the office with questions like how much the tickets cost and will it be hard to find one? Candace Cardin says it's hard for them to know just how many tickets are out there since the university hasn't sent their tickets out yet. Cardin says it's going to be harder to score a ticket this year than it was in the 2009 National Championship due to a smaller venue. And for hotels, WVUA spoke with the New Orleans Convention and Visitors Bureau, and they say they're predicting a sellout.
We don't have the exact occupancy calculated at this time. As you can imagine, it's constantly fluctuating. But what we do know is that tickets for the BCS game are sold out. So that equals 74,000 individuals who will be in the city to enjoy the game. The greater metro area has about 38,000 hotel rooms available. So as you can imagine, we are expecting a complete city sellout.
And if you plan on going to the big game, you better be ready to shell out some big bucks. Some online ticket vendors are selling championship tickets at astronomical rates. If you want the cheapest ticket in the house, be prepared to spend more than $1,300, and some of the best seats in the house will cost you up to $10 grand. Well, officials with the New Orleans Convention and Visitors Bureau tell us there will be parties and other events surrounding the championship game. For a shortcut to their website, go to our website, WVUA-TV.com. Just click on numbers and links. Well, the Crimson Tide aren't the only ones playing for the title tonight. The University of Alabama Army and Air Force played a game of football, but it wasn't only for the bragging rights. WVUA's Bradley Whittington shows us how the game of football is helping wounded soldiers.
The Army and Air Force usually spend their time helping the community and fighting for their country. But Monday night, they played football. Mission Support Group Commander Will Markham says one reason for the event to count as a tiebreaker from a previous competition.
We were both competing against each other with Beat Auburn, Beat Hunger, and it wound up in a tie. It's kind of weird. So neither side was going to admit defeat, so we said we'd settle it out here on the field.
But that's not the only reason for the game. Cadet Captain Jordan Thompson says it's also about helping wounded soldiers.
Our true meaning is to raise money for the Wounded Warrior Project. Like I said earlier, we take care of our own. The more people we can, I guess make aware of the situation, the better.
Master Sergeant Larry Campbell knows all too well about being wounded while defending his country.
It's fitting that it's chosen on today because this day, 6 years ago, I was wounded in Iraq. An IED struck my vehicle, and I was in the hospital for about a year. So I am one of the wounded warriors.
Both squads say they enjoy the game and the opportunity to raise money for the Wounded Warrior Project so much they plan to host the event every year. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Bradley Whittington, WVUA News.
If you'd like to give a monetary donation to help wounded soldiers, you can send those to the University of Alabama Army or Air Force ROTC programs to the attention of wounded warriors. That address is 610 Capstone Drive, Building 810, Tuscaloosa, Alabama 35401. Well, coming up on WVUA News, 3 people are behind bars after an attempt to give a warrant resulted in the discovery of a meth lab and parts of a plan that will help Tuscaloosa move forward past its first big milestone. And Trent Richardson could be Alabama's second Heisman Trophy winning running back in the last 3 years. Gary Harris will have details later in Home Team Sports. Parts of the plan that hope to get Tuscaloosa back on its feet following the April 27th tornadoes moved one step closer to being approved by the Tuscaloosa City Council. A draft for one section of the Tuscaloosa Forward Plan was presented to the Planning Commission earlier today and passed by a unanimous vote. The draft for the mixed-use codes affect building and design standards for areas affected by the April 27th tornado, including Rosedale, 15th, and McFarland, and Alberta City. The mixed-use codes allow buildings to serve 2 functions, such as housing both restaurants and office space. The draft will be presented to the front of the Tuscaloosa City Council on December 20th. Tuscaloosa Incident Command Representative Meredith Lynch says these plans will help improve businesses around the city.
What these codes are going to do is going to allow a lot more freedom for business owners to rebuild in a way that is best for the community. When we had the Tuscaloosa Forward Plan, the citizens really wanted a interconnected, sustainable community and being very connected, and that's what this zoning will do. It will allow for mixed-use zoning.
On your Home Team Crime Watch, a Tuscaloosa City councilman arrested in connection with drugs. Tomorrow will be the first council meeting that Kip Tyner will attend since his arrest, and as we reported, it happened Friday night at the Treetop Apartments in Tuscaloosa. Police say Tyner was charged with unlawful possession of a controlled substance and unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. Tyner's attorney, David Andrews, released a statement that said, in part, Kip will be pleading not guilty in the case and will be looking into the circumstances surrounding his arrest. Moving on to Crime Watch, according to Sergeant Andy Norris with the Tuscaloosa Sheriff's Department, deputies attempting to serve a warrant stumbled upon an active meth lab and methamphetamines in the home of the suspect. Norris says Billy Jack Colburn and Stephanie Carell Estes were both charged with unlawful possession, unlawful manufacturing of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Kenneth Ray Estes, the suspect the deputies were trying to serve the warrant to, is charged with the same as the other 2 suspects, plus driving with a suspended license. They're all being held at the Tuscaloosa County Jail. Tuscaloosa police say 3 suspects are behind bars in conjunction with thefts in the Woodlands apartment complex. Sergeant Brent Blankley says officers located 2 of the suspects walking beside a building and this 3rd suspect in the back seat of a suspect's vehicle. Officers took all 3 suspects into custody and located multiple stolen items, including iPods, cameras, phones, and a laptop computer. Blankley says Jamal Markel Brooks, Sylvester Sykes, and Gerald Robinson are charged with 2 counts of unlawful breaking and entering of a motor vehicle. Criminal investigators are still working on the case, and more charges could be pending. They are being held at the Tuscaloosa County Jail. Well, Richard Scott's up next with the weather forecast, but first we're going to leave you with some more video from the West Alabama Christmas Parade. WVUA brings you tomorrow's headlines tonight. In tomorrow's Tuscaloosa News, read how Tuscaloosa schools use a computer game to reinforce classroom skills. Plus, UA sophomore wins 2 gold medals in the wheelchair tennis at the Parapan Games. And in the TuscaloosaNews.com web poll, who should win the Heisman Trophy?
Alabama's home team weather.
We'll start things off on this Monday night with home team interactive radar. Some rain happening across parts of the state, but most of the activity over the western side of the state now. And really, we caught a break in the rainfall activity in the city of Tuscaloosa with the West Alabama Christmas parade happening earlier this evening. So we were very fortunate there, but a lot of other parades happening across the state, getting kind of wet out there with showers happening. The heavier rain by far over our northwest counties, Lamar and Marion, and portions of Winston counties that's moving off towards the north and east. Maybe some embedded thunder with that, but again, nothing overly heavy across the rest of the state. Most of the rainfall activity is light, and it is actually behind a cold front. Most of the thunderstorm activity and showers happening as the cold front's working in the Tuscaloosa area now, and some of the rain is behind the front. A lot of cloud cover back off towards the west, so it's going to be cloudy a lot for the next couple of days. Also, rain is likely in the forecast through Tuesday. In fact, temperatures go the wrong way. Rain will continue in the forecast behind that front. 9 o'clock in the morning, 57 degrees, 55 by lunch, and 54 at 3 o'clock as temperatures fall. A cold air mass takes over. And again, some showers are likely about any time, but nothing overly heavy out there. I think rain total is probably close to ½ an inch by tomorrow evening. And that's it in terms of rain across the state. Now, back off towards the west, things are changing again as an upper level low develops over West Texas, producing snow now. This feature will move our way in the coming days. By the time we go into Wednesday, more showers will arrive. It's going to be a cold rain out there. In fact, temperatures likely in the 40s during the day on Wednesday. Hey, really cold stuff back out west. -1 in Denver. We have 12 in Amarillo. Good news is this cold air mass will modify a bit as it moves our way. We'll see cool temperatures around here, but nothing overly cold. No teens or 20s in our immediate forecast. There's a cold front again tonight moving across our state. Behind that, still some showers around all the way through the day on Wednesday. In fact, some heavy rain is possible on Wednesday as that upper level feature moves in from the west. Look for rain totals during the day on Wednesday, close to 1 inch. Dry air moves in by Thursday, and Friday it stays cold through the weekend. Lows tonight on average around 50 degrees. Cloudy skies, showers are likely. Nothing overly heavy tonight, just light to moderate rain at times. 57 tomorrow for our Tuesday. Showers are a good bet. Chance of rain between 80% and 60% by Wednesday. Maybe a stray shower or two is possible by Thursday. Rain chance only about 20%, but it stays cold through the weekend. In fact, 20s are likely by Friday morning.
Richard, those are some different numbers from what we've seen the past week.
Yeah, much colder air taking over. Went from warm to cold, and hey, winter's here.
All right, thanks, Richard. Well, coming up, Gary Harris joins us. A new commitment for the Crimson Tide, plus Nick Saban and Les Miles talk defense. And in the Bama basketball team, we'll continue to see a lot of zone defense until they learn to attack it better. Home Team Sports is next.
Now, the Tuscaloosa Chevrolet Sports Update with WVUA's Gary Harris.
You know, Bama's about to play for a national championship, but you know, recruiting is the lifeblood of a program, and it never stops. 2011's been a great season, but in order to build for the future, you have to continue to recruit, and Alabama is putting together a great class for 2012. The latest piece coming this evening. Kurt Freitag, tight end out of Buford, Georgia, powerhouse program there in the state of Georgia, 6'4", 245 pounds, said that he will join his teammate, linebacker Dylan Lee, who had already committed to Alabama, as Crimson Tide players for next season. 6'4", 245, very athletic. Some people have compared him to the tight end down there at Auburn. Can catch the ball, can run with it after a catch. Big pickup tonight for the Crimson Tide. And good evening, everyone. In this era of high-powered, high-scoring offenses, it's the two teams with the best defenses that will meet in the BCS championship game at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome on January the 9th. Alabama and LSU have both scored a lot of points this season, but it's defense that is the calling card for both teams. Last night during the BCS teleconference, both Nick Saban and Les Miles talked about their team's styles of play.
If you're big, if you're physical, you win on the line of scrimmage, even though both teams are capable of making explosive plays throwing the ball, and you control the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of it. that you have a really good opportunity to win. And I think these two teams that are in this game this year kind of prove that in terms of the style and nature of play. And I think when you can do those things, you have a better chance to play more consistently by having good defense and being able to have balance on offense.
If you look at the great Florida teams, they were spread, and Tebow operated his magic, and they played great defense and great special teams. I think it's based on operating your talent, making sure that you're running the style of offense that benefits the guys that you're coaching, and then playing all three phases.
Alabama running back Trent Richardson is a unanimous choice for Offensive Player of the Year, while LSU quarterback Tyrann Mathieu has been named the top defensive player on the Associated Press All-SEC team. Les Miles is the Coach of the Year. Richardson also named a Heisman finalist today. What a year. 1,583 yards in 12 games rushing, 20 touchdowns. He also caught 27 passes, scored 3 touchdowns through the air. He's averaging 6 yards per carry. Just having a phenomenal year. He will be in New York as one of the 5 Heisman finalists. Let's take a look at other Alabama members on the SEC AP first team. Richardson, a unanimous choice, as was Barrett Jones, the offensive tackle, William Vallejos, the center, Courtney Upshaw, the linebacker, and Mark Barron, the safety, also first team members. Second team members, all from the Tide defense, nose tackle Josh Chapman, linebacker Dante Hightower, and cornerback Drake Kirkpatrick. On the coaching front, the UAB Blazers have turned to Arkansas offensive coordinator and former Oklahoma quarterback Garrett McGee to infuse the program with energy and enthusiasm. He was introduced this morning. He becomes the first black head coach at a Division I-A program in Alabama. He says that he thinks everything's in place at UAB to win a championship in Conference USA now. Recently, a stadium was rejected by the Board of Trustees, but McGee says once he wins a championship, then he'll go back to the board and ask for more. All right, other coaching hires today. In addition to McGee, Hugh Freeze is the new man at Ole Miss, former assistant there, was the head coach at Arkansas State this past season, leading them to 10 wins. And Carl Pelini, the brother of Bo Pelini, is the new head coach down at Florida Atlantic, taking over for Howard Schnellenberger. The Georgetown zone defense shut down the Alabama offense this past Thursday night, both on the perimeter and really on the inside, too. Alabama struggled to shoot it. Tide, though, on the outside was terrible. 3 of 16 from three-point range. Now with a blueprint in place, Anthony Grant says the Tide can expect to see more of the same in terms of a zone beginning on Wednesday night at Dayton.
Looking back at that game, we struggled versus Georgetown zone in terms of how we attacked it. So just working on, just attacking zones better. We had some breakdowns on the defensive end in the second half that hurt us. So trying to learn from those and understand, what we've got to do to put ourselves in a better position to win those type of games.
It's just some young guys, even some of the veterans, just didn't see like a zone like that. It was just more like a 2-3 and not like how we run it. And we just got better, getting better at it now.
Yeah, I believe so. Talking to Coach Grant, they feel like a lot of teams are going to try to play zone against us. So, we've been working on zone a lot of practice.
Said Bama will be at Dayton on Wednesday night. That's going to be a tough game. That's a good basketball team, and it's also where Anthony Grant played college basketball. That's a look at sports. We'll be back right after this.
This has been the Tuscaloosa Chevrolet Sports Update on WVUA. Roll, Chevy, roll.
Christmas lights are popping up all around West Alabama, and now is your time to shine. From now until the end of the year, we'll be showing displays just like this one. That's
awesome.
That's really good.
This one's located in Northport near Edwardian Drive. If you know someone or have some beautiful holiday lights, let us know your address, and you might just see your holiday decorations featured on WVUA News. All you have to do is go to our website, WVUA-TV.com, click on Submit Your Outdoor Holiday Decorations button.
Quick look at the forecast. Next few days, cold and rainy temperatures fall tomorrow. Temperatures likely in the 40s all day on Wednesday. Rain continues until early Thursday, then dry by the weekend.
All right, thanks, Richard. That's going to do it for the news at 10. Get more news and weather tomorrow on WVUA First at 4. But first, get all the headlines with the crew at the Daily Buzz from 5 to 8 right here on WVUA. But before we leave you tonight, we're giving you more video from the West Alabama Christmas Parade.